Hello there. Welcome back to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly and Merry Christmas. Since this year is my first Christmas with an active YouTube channel, I thought why not celebrate with a massive scrapbook layout share for inspiration. So I have 50 scrapbook layouts I'm going to share tonight that are Christmas and winter themed, 45 double pages and 5 single pages. Now, I don't always scrap chronologically, so I'm going to share the layouts with the papers in chronological order as they were released. Because I don't scrapbook in chronological order, I do use our D-ring albums. Now, just keep in mind that many of the layouts I'm sharing tonight have process videos and many of them don't, but almost all of them have workshop guides. And so I will link all of the workshop guides and any relevant process videos in the description. And let's just sit back and get ready to enjoy. So as I said, I put all of my layouts in a D-ring binder, and that is their final home. I do not switch them out to a different album. I love our close to my heart D-rings. I use a binder clip to designate the year. I have several albums for every year, and then I have separate albums for larger themes like vacations. I do color code. I primarily use black, but I do color code for other themes. And I absolutely love that system, and I use our 12 by 12 close to my heart top load page protectors. Now, the first layouts I'm going to share are from 2019 Cedar and Pine collection. And it's a very simple grid style layout on the right with a nice L curve down the left side of the photo. Lots of clustering with some snowflakes as well as some die cuts that came right in the kit, some glitter die cuts. There's some white stitching that looks like white gel pen around the banners, and then some great doily die cuts. Such an easy go-to. The next one is a layout that you've seen many, many times with pattern paper squares. This had such a vintagey feel, and this is my daughter-in-law's family and our grandson, Waylon James, and they have a tradition to wear an old Santa suit that's been passed down through all of the grandkids. So I added some vintage toys from the Cricut, and the title came right in the workshop kit. It gave me such a vintagey vibe. One more Cedar and Pine. Now, I did do a process video on the tea tree fold tree there. I'll link that in the description. I used some stitched frames from Complete Creativity and then just made this wonderful flourish on the bottom with all of the sticker flowers and the glitter die cuts that come right in the kit. Such an easy one, and my grandkids on Christmas morning. I absolutely love that. So this next one is from our 2019 Holly Jolly collection. I love large Cricut cuts, and this snow globe came right in the Holly Jolly kit, but I added an SVG Peace, Love, and Joy in the middle just for a little bit of fun and play. And then I added those clusters, and I added flourishes, and some of those were die cuts that came right in the kit. Some of those are Cricut cuts, and it simply strips in the background, and I did the large poinsettia clusters, and I absolutely love that. I use the city sidewalks, the flower market, and the Complete Creativity Cricut cuts. And this is my granddaughter Ramsey Kate, who played all day just playing peekaboo behind the boxes. This one is also a Holly Jolly from the Holly Jolly collection, and this is my neighbor Joy. So I thought it would be appropriate to do this simple layout with the die cut Joy that came right in the kit. Down below you see the cityscape from the City Sidewalks collection, and you see all kinds of little bits that were punch outs directly from the kit. Did all my journaling there and made some little clusters again with the stickers and the die cuts that came right in that Holly Jolly kit. So festive and so fun. And this was an annual Christmas party that Joy and her husband have every year. The next one, again, also from Holly Jolly. This wonderful stack of presents is a die cut that came right in the kit, and it has the journal lines around it already. And I had fun backing that with some photos and some pattern papers. I actually made the trees on the Cricut by slicing out some little pieces and doing some embossing. And it was kind of fun to journal right on that tree. And this was a Christmas activity that we did I did with my grandkids, taking them to Nerdy Nuts Peanut Butter Factory. Again, one last single page holly jolly, very basic framing and adding some Cricut snowman. And I see I'm losing a scarf here. That front cheers is actually what would be called a label. If you type label on the Cricut, you get all kinds of fun shapes. I added that label and added all kinds of Cricut and die cut flourishes and pine cones underneath for one simple focal photo of my grandchildren. Up next, we have, we have Jingle Joy, the Jingle Joy collection, which I believe Jingle Joy was 2020. Yes, it was. But we're using a thin cut, just a border thin cut there with the raspberry color. I created the sled on the Jingle Joy collection. We have the Jingle Joy digital collection. Rudolph, of course, is a sticker, but all the other reindeer are from the Cricut, and the sled is from that Jingle Joy collection. Really, really basic but fun. Here is a Simply Scrappin Jingle Joy. So the sticker, the Dear Santa sticker, and the Santa Claus came right out of the sticker sheet. The black banners are all really hard die cut chipboards with a little bit of a UV coating on them. I created that space when I printed my photos on my PhotoMate, my PictureMate, excuse me, and left that little Polaroid strip at the bottom so I could add little funny sniglets. That was just some fun Christmas activities with my grandkids as well. You're going to see lots of grandkid pages because my husband refuses to let me put pictures of him very often out into the world. So that makes it hard to put pictures of myself as well. So this one was Comfort and Joy. Comfort and Joy was such a beautiful collection. And I did a little play on a slant, but I used our stitched rectangles for some added interest in there. And then the die cut you see here came right in the kit. I sliced it in half to add it in the background for texture. I cut a rectangle so that I could put two triangles in the corner. And this is our Hattie Elaine, who was at a Little Miss Snowflake competition. Her sister had won the Little Miss Snowflake competition and was Little Miss Snowflake in 2019. And so Hattie Elaine was going to try that out. So we have another Comfort and Joy and our window shaker thin cut. So gorgeous, and some Christmas sequins in there and a die cut title, Hello Christmas. There's some of those same trees that I used again. Now these are scallop pieces that came right in the kit, and I stacked those on top of each other to create this gorgeous tree, and then added those other Cricut trees. And then we have the stitched little border there that made snowbanks, which was so fun. And there is that same stitched flourish ribbon die cut from the previous workshop as well. I will find that. And again, here we are with another gorgeous Comfort and Joy that had these little diamond pieces right in the kit, and little pieces where you could make them multicolored. I actually cut the diamond out of the base by attaching a diamond to that white base. And then I put the diamonds that came right in the kit inside the larger diamond. We have some gold clips and gold hearts that I added to that for some kind of jewelry and added embellishments. And these were some old time photos of a Christmas long, long ago with my brother and myself. So I had quite a bit to say. So I have two different journaling spots and stories, and just clusters with a lot of the little pieces that came right in the kit, as well as some Christmas poinsettias. Here is some more Comfort and Joy basic strips where I actually, because this was Simply Scrappin, we had Picture My Life cards, and I added different strips and tops and bottoms of Picture My Life cards that were made into tags. faux tags. And then this was actually myself and my brother with Santa Claus 53 years ago. So I had quite a bit of journaling about that, but the stickers were so beautiful with the gold foil embedded in them. And I added a little bit of ribbon from my stash. Now here's a funny one, but this is actually one of my Christmas cards. And I do like to scrap my Christmas cards. I think it's really important, and it is a basic layout. And I've added the poinsettias from the Cricut and all of the little flourishes, and also the lights up on the top were also from the Cricut, and the Comfort and Joy digital collection is where I got those. And then here is another funny, so that was a 2-page layout, but I used 1 page for one Christmas card and another page for this funny Christmas card where my husband is holding the present and I'm holding a bag of coal for him. Same flourishes, same flowers from the Comfort and Joy collection. I did put the insides of my Christmas card on the back of the layout, and there's a little journaling on the right that says to look on the back for more details. And I just love the simplicity of this, but that it actually makes my Christmas cards for those years something that are going to be scrapbooked forever instead of just stuck in a box or stuck in a file. And we can actually pull the layout out and read the story of what's happening. And I should tell you that now we are at White Pines, which is 2021, and that last one, Comfort and Joy, was 2020. White Pines was one of my all-time favorites, and it was a special. So there is stamps. You're seeing the title is stamped. Many of those little pieces, the little holly leaves are stamped, the little mini title over there is stamped, the little sentiment piece on the bottom is stamped, and I popped up the interior piece. The flourish all the way around the edges is stamped, and then it's just layered. I really love that. And here we go with our squares again. So we've seen our squares on diagonals, we've seen them in the center, we've seen them off to the sides. These are larger squares that are just coming across the center, adding that little truck for some flavor, and that truck is from the Cricut Cuts, and I believe it is actually from, don't quote me, it could be from You Are Here, or it could be from Stars and Sparklers. And then I actually used those stamps that were in the White Pine stamp set again to make some of the circles, and I made a Cricut snowman and just added some twine and some embellishments. I loved White Pines, so pretty. Here's another White Pines, which is my grandson Waylon James and Claire Adeline. I took them to see Santa, and I thought Waylon would be scared, and he leapt into Santa's arms, hugged him around the neck, and then turned around and smiled. So I stamped my own pattern paper by stamping the snowflakes in the background. Many of the trees are stamped and then fussy cut. Some of those are sticker pieces, but the round sticker in the center on the left is a stamped bit. And then I've created my own journaling box, and it's a super basic layout, but so pretty with that gold glitter paper. And I love twine. I never get tired of baker's twine. I know probably it comes in and out of style, but I think it's such a nice added element. So here we are now moving on to holly and ivy, and you can see the swirly frame in the back. I believe I did make that on the Cricut, but we did since then get one of the swirly frames on, I believe, our Life's a Hoot collection. So we actually have the ability to make that on our Life's a Hoot collection. And this is so simple. Use the swirly frame, made the basic strips in the background, and did a little bit of clustering in the center of those frames. It's a go-to, and it's adorable. Here we have another one. It doesn't even really look like it's from the same collection, but it's the 2021 Holly and Ivy collection. Again, basic top and bottom, strips on the sides, and then clustering around. I did quite a bit of journaling, and this is Waylon James with us at a Christmas party, and I'm wrestling with him like you wrestle with a bear because he won't take his picture in front of the Christmas tree. I love the chalkboard feel of the black pattern paper, and then they gave us all kinds of coordinated chalky embellishments, some craft embellishments, and some stickers, and it was such a nice woodsy collection. Here we go with a little bit more holly and ivy. It doesn't even look like the same collection, but it is. And we actually have these circles that have stamped circles that can go in the middle, and they are actually from the embroidered circles stamp set. So of course we have all kinds of thin cut circles. We have stacked circles, we have stitch circles, and then we have number sets as well. So it would be so easy to recreate something like this. And although I didn't do 12 Days of Christmas, I focused on a little outing that I had with Waylon James at Nerdy Nuts again. It's a peanut butter factory, and they get to create their own peanut butter. And Claire Adeline, our other granddaughter, went with us, and just tucking little bits of the holly and ivy die cuts in with those circles and really finishing it off with grids of photos is so cute. So here we are with Freshly Baked. We're moving right along to 2022. Now my granddaughter snapped my photo in my apron, and I thought, well, I only have one photo, so I don't really know what to do with the one photo. So I added photos of some things that I bake at Christmas. The circles came right in the kit, but I punched holes in them and ran twine across to make a little jingle banner. And all the rest, aside from the title, are just stickers that come right in the right on the sticker sheet and in the kit. Here we are with a swirly border again. Now we're not fast forwarding yet to where we have one on our digital collection. This one is actually a die cut that you punch out right in the Freshly Baked set. There's so many cute little cookies and die cuts that you punch out. The die cuts just seem like they never ended. Really, really cute, and such a basic layout with a 4-square grid on both pages. And I actually just did a fun play on my grandson, who's addicted to the vacuum, and his treat for vacuuming was my homemade hot cocoa that I make every year. The holiday treats title was right in the kit as well. So they make it so easy, so adorable. So I actually robbed a couple layouts from the Freshly Baked collection, and many of the bits that you see here are from the Freshly Baked digital art collection. These adorable chocolate chip cookies. They have whole cookies, partial cookies, cookies with bites out of them, and you can make those on your Cricut. You can make heart cookies and stocking cookies and star cookies in all different shapes. There were lots of scallop circles that came in this set, but even though it was for Christmas baking, there wasn't anything about this layout that designated Christmas. It was basically about sweet and baking, and that is my grandson, Waylon James, and everyone was out in the field, and he was too little to go, so he stayed home with Grandma and made cookies. Here's another very cute and very easy one to duplicate. Again, we have that Freshly Baked digital collection that has the little cookie sheet cooling rack on it, and then those cookies that are from that digital collection. The tag and lots of the scallop circles and the other bits came right in the kit, but you can see these are 1-inch strips with a 1-inch strip on the top and a transition with the zip strip, the word strip, and then you put the photos at the bottom and just decorate with bits and pieces from the sticker sheet, the die cuts, and the digital collection. And again, that is Waylon James baking cookies, and he's just so stinking cute when he does that, and he's looking inside and stealing a few chocolate chips. Now we have more from Freshly Baked. This is from the digital collection, and we have the big plate that comes in the digital collection and all the cookies you see around the plate. I did add an SVG from the Cricut that says Cookies for Santa, and then just decorated it like a wreath style layout and added the photos of my granddaughters, Hattie Elaine, Ramsey Kate, who were home. Avery Jean, I think, was at school, and those two stayed home and made homemade cookies to put inside the Santa cookie jar and homemade hot cocoa. And that blue circle on the lower right is actually the throwaway piece from the center of the large plate on the upper left. And I thought, why not balance the page with that? Such a cute collection, that Freshly Baked collection. I just love, love, love it. Now we went and we are moving on to the Christmas Story collection. I did this at the beginning of 2023, but it was a 2022 collection. And this is just a different take on a grid. So all of the, not all of, but quite a few of the little frames and the little die cut pieces like the little gold gift all came right in the kit. And then I added 2 more scallop squares and then that little North Pole looking journal bit there. I had quite a bit to say because again, it was about my holiday baking. I don't often do layouts without photos of people, but I thought it was really important to document all of the baking and the treat making that I do. And there was wonderful chipboard die cuts that came right in that kit as well. Here we are still with some more Christmas Story. Now these scallop pieces, these large scallop pieces came right in the kit, but instead of using them in the way that they were supposed to be used, I took a Christmas tree from the Cricut, attached it to a white scalloped piece that I sized, and then I sliced that Christmas tree out of the background, and I took all of those scallop pieces and layered them behind that opening in the tree to create a dimensional Christmas tree. I added stickers and some of the gold embellishments to decorate the tree with foam tape, and then there's some white acrylic pieces that are actually part of that embellishment set also, and that is Waylon James' first Christmas. So I thought I would document him. He's obsessed with the fireplace, and he has on a little kind of a jacket blankie. It's sort of a little thing that slips over his head, and it has that wonderful plaid pattern on it. And those stockings are super meaningful because everyone has a stocking in our family, and those are hung that way every year. And I think scallop borders like that just really make a layout pop. They're kind of a signature for me. I just love them. Continuing on in the Christmas Story set, there was a die cut wreath. I don't know if you can see it underneath the flourishes, but it is a die cut wreath that you punch out of the die cuts, and I added some extra pattern paper and cardstock circles under it, and then just added lots of flourishes to make that wreath a little bit more full. All of these embellishments have this wonderful acrylic base and then die cut tops, so they're layered and they're so cute. And this is my family at Christmas. There was all kinds of tags in that kit, so I could make clusters with tags. So one more from Christmas Story, and you might sort of recognize this layout. I was the guest designer for Close to My Heart for our Hope and Kindness collection, and I did a very similar base layout to this. So if you actually check out on our website, the Hope and Kindness workshop, you'll see the dimensions for this layout, but I also have a guide. But I just toggled 2 pieces of paper in the upper left and the lower right for a good play, and then put some linear photos beside it. Made a few little flip out pieces by folding some paper just to have some added interest, and was able to use those die cuts again that are on top of those acrylic shapes. I cut a rectangle on a diagonal and used the top on the upper left and the bottom on the lower right, and added some gold glitter paper just for that pop. And then I popped that whole base up on a gutted frame, and then added all of the stickers and things for added embellishments. I just love that. It's so simple. It has lots of photo opportunities. Now, this layout, you are actually going to see this 2 more times in this layout share. This is a layout that I just recently did a process video on, not for this particular layout, but I was explaining how I've used it multiple times when it's not going to be next to another layout in the series. And so it's basic banners behind a large photo. So I have this beautiful poinsettia tree, and I had only 3 photos of my son with my grandson Waylon just relaxing, playing with a slinky, and just a basic grid on the right side, except for the upper left grid is just banners. So easy. And again, I have a process video for that. I also wanted to mention in the previous layout that I had so much to say about those photos because that is our annual tour of the trees at our state capitol. And so I do oftentimes in my journaling note to see the back that people are interested can actually pull it out and read the full story. I absolutely love it. One more. So we have this beautiful tree Stampin' Thin Cut. That is the Christmas Story stamp and thin cut, and it makes this gorgeous little tree, and it even makes the tree stand. Here's this basic layout again that you've seen several times in these collections, and it's just the pattern paper on the top and the bottom and the strips and the zip strips on the side to create your base layout. Acrylic shapes and then clusters of stickers and flourishes. I used a tag on the right side that I stretched and did some Cricut writing that says Happy New Year on it and just added those flourishes. Now we're going to move on from 2022, and we are going, actually we're still in 2022 with Seas and Greetings. Seas and Greetings is a collection that could go tropical or winter, depending on what you wanted. So here, the reason I put this in here is it is the same base layout as the previous layout that I just showed. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's almost identical, but it is several years later. And I've made a grid style with the photos on the right. This is my girlfriend and I hiking in the Black Hills in the snow and just catching up. It was so therapeutic, just catching up on a good visit. The tags and the flourishes that came right in the kit, I used those, and there's also a snowman stamp and thin cut with some snowflakes that I used. I went ahead, since I had that out, to show how I use the same layout and added some photos. I just had coffee this last week with my girlfriend, and there is a place called Harriet and Oak that has this cute little VW bus in it. And so we had coffee, we visited, and we took some photo ops in the VW bus. Basic strip layout, wide and narrow strips, doing the title with the stickers and having a subtitle down below with even more stickers, and just adding again the stamp and thin cut snowmen that come right in the season greetings. And it's a pastel-y, but it just worked so well with that VW bus. Such a wonderful little place to go when you're just getting bogged down by the Christmas rush. Now we're going to move on here to a current set, which is actually our Gnomes for winter. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because I do have process videos for all of these, and I was the guest designer for these for close to my heart, but I just did tearing and inking treatments and a fun play with the gnomes and used the shimmer brush and a little bit of the silver metallic marker. We did a little contour cutting on this one around the gnomes to make them look like they're slip sliding out of the page, and captured my grandkids sledding and having a great time, adding some of the gnome stickers to that base layout. There are full process videos for those. This was a single page that I designed by drawing around a paper plate to make some scribble circles, and then adding all the thin cuts that come right with that bundle to make a wreath style layout with some focal photos. This next one was basic paper strips with 1/8 inch transitions in between, did some stamping for that title in between, and then tags for the photo mats. So easy and so fun. A little bit of background stamping with the winter gnomes stamp and thin cut and stamp set as well. Moving on to our current, not current, but 2023 current year home for Christmas, not to be confused with Christmas Story. I did a full process video on this layout, and it is paper piecing almost like a patchworky quilt, but I pulled in another one to show a completely different example of how I use that. Instead of 4 photos in the center, another funny Christmas card. This is my bucket calf, and it says milk and cookies for Santa with milk crossed out because the calf has knocked over and drank the milk and only the cookies are left. And that was one of our funny Christmas cards, but I wanted to show you how different those quilted pattern backgrounds can look, one with a 5x5 photo and one with 4 3x3 photos. Here is a very, very basic home for Christmas, simple Scrappin layout. Strips with the wood grain 9 full large photos. This was a layout where I recreated a picture of me with Santa from 53 years before, and the elves were taking their job super seriously. They were trying to get my recreation photo correct and have me pose correct, and that was completely made with stickers off the sticker sheet and paper pattern strips. Here's another Simply Scrappin, again, simply made out of pattern paper pieces, popping up some stickers. There's a little doily die cut that comes right in the die cut kit that I cut in half, and some other layered die cuts. Now, I'm pointing to a photo of an ornament on a tree. Oftentimes, if I don't have quite enough people photos for what I want to put in a layout, I'll take a close-up shot of something, or I'll zoom in on a photo that's already in the picture. And that is just a close-up shot of an ornament as a filler in there, and it's a pretty decorative element. Now I have a 2-page layout that I've turned into 2 single pages because I only had 2 photos. So again, we're still on Home for Christmas, super simple scrapping, basic strips and banners on the bottom, cutting the photos to look like Polaroids and adding chipboard die cut pieces. So there's chipboard die cut pieces on Noel and chipboard die cut pieces on the bottom of the Polaroid. So that was my granddaughter Maya at her concert and her brother Carter in the background there. And then I used the companion page. Instead of using them together, I made a single page layout because I had just a few photos of my Secret Santa gifts, and I wanted to document the funny gifts that I often do for my coworkers for Secret Santa and our Secret Santa exchange. Those chipboard pieces worked out perfect, and making those little pieces and just adding that little extra. It is such a simple layout. Like, there is nothing to it, but by adding those little Polaroid shapes on the bottom really gave it a little bit of jazz. So here we have another Home for Christmas. This is my sparkle and shine style, but those scallop pieces, even though I've made these on my Cricut before, these are actually die cuts that come right in the kit. There are some doilies that come right in the kit, but I also made some additional doilies. There's sprigs that come on the die cut sheet. There's layered embellishments and poinsettias that come on the die cut sheet with amazing details that Close to My Heart makes with their laser, and a basic background, just adding strips to that and clustering it in several different places. And then I added another layout that has no people. So it's our fireplace with our stockings, our Christmas tree, and a lot of the little homemade goodies that often sit around the tree in some of the decorations. And then I've used the visual triangle with the clusters of all of those things that come right in the kit and on the sticker sheet. Now we're going to move back to also current for 2023, and current now is Silver Bells. This is a Silver Bells Simply Scrappin', and this is our little Avery Jane that I said was Little Miss Snowflake for 2019, and she actually got to be Little Miss Snowflake for 2020 as well, because there wasn't a contest that next year, and so she got to give the crown away the year that her sister participated. It was so fun. So here we have some gold glitter paper that is added to some gold foil stickers on the sticker sheet, basic circle die cuts, and some embellishing thread. And I did use the silver metallic marker for my journaling and to connect those banners. Now I'm backtracking because I was reminded of a couple layouts from 2017 that I forgot to show you that are from a collection called Silver and Gold. Because I was doing Silver Bells, I was reminded of Silver and Gold. There's nothing super special about this layout to share with you except the ribbon tree. I think sometimes what's old is new again, and this is a ribbon tree that I made out of our shimmer trim. It's about a 1/2 inch of shimmer ribbon, which you could use other types of paper. It's folded into ribbon strips that are large to small, and you can make a little tree out of that. And I just wanted to highlight that the layout itself in 2017 was the end of 2017 was my first year creating workshops, so they're very basic, but I did love the 2 trees in the Silver and Gold. This is a heart tree with upside down hearts and a planter at the bottom. And then I added lots of little hearts and dots in the middle of that tree with sparkly gold glitter paper. So fun. I just wanted to bring those back. Those were from 2017 to show you the ribbon tree and the heart tree. And now we'll pop back up to 2023 with Evergreen. So here is a Simply Scrappin Evergreen. I tore 3 strips of the music paper up at the top, used the snowflake title from the sticker sheet, added dovetailed banners at the bottom, a variety of patterns, and all of those photos are winter photos of my granddaughter Gracie May's graduation. Here's Gracie May again, and here is that layout that I told you that I used 3 times in this series. It's a layout from our Close to My Heart blog, and I did a full process video on this one using Gracie's senior photos and basic banners. But I wanted to show you how this would look with scenery. So basically, I took pictures looking out the front window of the snow and how the snow and the icicles had collected. Same exact layout, just scenery in one and Gracie May's winter senior photos in the other. Such a go-to, and you can use that layout over and over and use it in different years. Here's another Simply Scrappin Evergreen. Basic strips on the top and the bottom of the right page, larger strips on the left page, doing several photos flush, popping up another photo, and having a play on the twine and the tags that come right in the kit. And then we have our black chipboard titles. We have chipboard titles in all colors, and I think the black just makes it pop. There is nothing to the base of this layout, just adding some of those chipboard pieces, the titles, and the stickers from the sticker sheet. Again, another Simply Scrapping, just paper from the paper pack made into tags, and having those tags curve around the right page and a cluster on the left, making it so fun, popping up those photos for dimension. And this is my grandson Carter's Christmas band concert that I went to a couple weeks ago. So pretty, and those chipboard pieces from the die cuts, man, Close to My Heart is knocking it out of the park with those die cuts. Here we are on the final layout, strips again, shorter strips on the right, longer strips on the left, and clustering of the photos, adding stickers and die cut clusters and some of our silver bells, dots and gems. And this was our tour of trees at the Capitol. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching, and I hope you are surrounded by all those people and things that you love the most this Christmas. Merry Christmas, and don't forget to be the keeper of your Christmas memories. Bye-bye.